Hello everyone, this is Lego Toby, and today is the 90th anniversary of the Lego Company, August 10th, 2022. And yeah, it's been quite a few months since I last made a YouTube video, unfortunately. So yeah, which is what, mainly because I just didn't really feel like doing another Lego set review in a long time, so yeah, and I just needed a break from making YouTube videos for most of that time. But now I finally seem to be in the mood to make a YouTube video, and being someone who does currently, as of right now, own the Lego Classic 90 Years of Play set, I figured why not do a review of it on the 90th anniversary of the Lego Company. It's a once a decade thing, and you know what? I figured I may as well just do it. So, yeah. And this Lego set has 15 micro builds that essentially go from 1932 to 2020, a couple years back, which is relatively recent. So yeah. And for basic information of this Lego set, this is the Lego Classic 90 Years of Play, set number 11021, and has 1,100 pieces, and retails for $50 in the United States as of right now. So yeah. And again, this is a pretty good LEGO set to celebrate 9 decades of LEGO with, but more on that when I get to the end of the video. First, let's talk about the original build alone. Essentially, the wooden duck. Now, for those casual LEGO fans out there who do not know, and don't know the true story of how LEGO became the iconic toy company they are, believe it or not, back when they first started back in 1932, they were actually a wooden toy company, believe it or not. And this is actually a mini build of a wooden duck pull toy. And yeah, and if you're a LEGO fan like myself, then it should be a pretty iconic toy, I guess. And while I don't think it's the very first time we've ever gotten a LEGO version of, well, at least a version of this duck that was made out of Lego bricks. This is an okay version. I don't know. This is definitely a build that feels a little bit off to me for some reason. I guess it could be its long beak. It kind of looks more like a platypus to me, if I had to be honest with you. But overall, it's not a bad build per se, but it's okay for what it is, honestly. So, yeah. Then we get to the next LEGO theme, being LEGO Trains. And this particular set is from the year 1966, which is right here. So, yeah, and again, it perfectly recreates the original 1966 LEGO set, but overall, though, this is easily, like, one of the most bland, boring, and uninteresting builds in the LEGO set. Actually, the most bland and uninteresting build, if I had to be honest with you, because, like, it's just a normal train. We've gotten many builds like this before. Heck, back in 2018, there was even a LEGO Creator Christmas Train polybag that I currently have. So this is really not that interesting, if I had to be honest with you, and there's no interesting LEGO elements, especially in comparison to the rest of the LEGO micro builds that have interesting pieces, and this just has really nothing really going for it. And a time period in LEGO's history I completely forgot about by accident somehow was actually 1961, which is this set right here, or recreating the town plan, even though I believe that was 1958. Either way, though, yeah, and I sadly forgot to mention this set, and technically it comes before this one does, so, yeah, but either way, this is a really good set, or at least good micro build in my opinion. It perfectly recreates, like, the stuff that was around back during that time period in LEGO's history. Like, this house and this vehicle looks exactly like the way both of those things were back in the day. And also, red and white were, like, the only real colors for Lego bricks at the time as well. And because it was just normal Lego bricks, it just turned out so well, in my opinion. Plus, it has a nice interior. Therefore, if you have micro figures, then this is actually a micro scale set. Honestly, like if you would like to have your microfigs to have a home, then this is a nice build. And the vehicle is pretty good as well. Again, looks really great for what it was. And of the builds so far, this is easily the best of them in my opinion so far. And now, as for the next year, we will be taking a look at, we'll get into Classic Castle, which technically also got a remake, well, okay, I wouldn't say a remake per se, but we did get a 90 Years of Play Castle Lego set that was direct consumer this year. Out of the way, as for this Classic Castle build, again, a nice micro-scale build, but unfortunately, though, it's, again, a little bland, just a little. It's not entirely bland. I do, question the fact that, what should be a flag right there is, like, also, like, they literally use, like, if I can, yeah, like, 2 of these pieces, and, like, yeah, I mean, I get this part should be red. Oops, a tower fell down. But why does the back area also have to be red? It doesn't make too much sense. So the more I'm thinking about it, and also we've gotten classic castle builds like this before, and overall, this is really not the best thing that this LEGO set has to offer in general. It's a good, or at least decent, micro build from the set, but again, not exactly the greatest. So, yeah. And then let's go to Classic Space, which is this one. And this is the Galaxy Explorer, and it's technically, for some reason, it says it's from the year 1979, even though I could have swore the set was from 1978. Either way, another decent micro build of an iconic LEGO set that, again, as part of the 90 Years of Play LEGO theme, also got a $100 LEGO set. And yeah, so it also got a remake, an official one at that. And as for the micro build itself, it's decent for what it is. It's like this build itself is completely studs not on top though. Like seriously, this is like the definition of studs not on top. So yeah, great build overall, or again good for what it is, but not the greatest. There are certainly a lot more better builds to come along. And then there's also Lego Fabuland from 1981. And yeah, I'll say this, it's kind of decent for what it is. The elephant turned out okay, and I kind of like this build as well. It's good for what it is, in my opinion, it really is. But aside from that, though, I really don't have much to say about this particular build aside from that. So now let's officially move on to the year 1989. 1989 with the LEGO Pirates Black Seas Barracuda, which again, thanks to LEGO Ideas back in 2020, got a remake, that being Barracuda Bay. And believe it or not, even though we have gotten micro builds of this particular ship before in recent years, I still honestly think this is honestly of all the 15 micro builds, this is honestly, in my opinion, the best of them. First of all, this build has some pretty interesting pieces, like the minifigure skull here. Like, classic LEGO sets aren't really known to have LEGO minifigure pieces or accessories, and the fact there's literally a minifigure head being used in a classic set is really awesome in my opinion. Not only that, but there's also this new LEGO piece that I never got before this set, and it's this, I guess, slope-like piece. Yeah, I've never gotten this piece before getting this LEGO set. And to be fair, I highly doubt this piece was introduced in this LEGO set because it's a classic set. And while this set doesn't include many nice pieces, considering there are so many LEGO sets released this year, I highly doubt this is the first LEGO set to introduce this piece. But still a nice piece for what it is, honestly. So, yeah, now to put it back together. And aside from that, like, this pirate ship overall just turned out really great in my opinion. My one complaint I have with it is the fact that it's not really that complete on this side as far as that particular flag. But aside from that, yeah, this is a really great build and easily the best of them in my opinion. And now, let's move on to 1998 with the LEGO Adventurers theme. And I'll say this. This is definitely, in my opinion, the second best build that this LEGO set has to offer. Because again, a lot like the Black Seas Barracuda, this micro build has a ton of, like, great pieces as well. Such as a dark blue scorpion, and even a printed LEGO piece, which, if I'm not mistaken, was also from the original LEGO set, and a gemstone piece in red right here as well. So overall, yeah, great micro build. And again, there's only one flaw that this micro build has that really irritates me, especially when it comes to accuracy, and that's the use of Mixelize right here. Like, I get it. As long as it has a face, it needs Mixel's eyes, apparently, but my gosh, this one really didn't need Mixel eyes. I get it, it's a classic LEGO set, and almost every LEGO classic build that has a face on it, or is an animal of some kind, they'd throw Mixel eyes on it. But still, though, this was not a good decision in this case. This is, like, and for a lot of the micro builds we're going to take a look at in this one, like, Mixel eyes aren't the worst thing, but honestly, unlike most of them, Mixel eyes do hurt this one. But at least it is an easy fix, though, because you can actually remove the Mixel eyes, and, it kind of looks a little bit accurate, so... Yeah, but again, but being a LEGO purist myself, I just rather keep them on, and boy, our well, actually, kind of looks like I actually lined them up perfectly. But again, though, aside from the inclusion of Mixel eyes, this is another near-perfect build, definitely close to being at number 1. And then we move on to the year 2000 with LEGO Belleville, which honestly was a LEGO theme that lasted a lot longer than I honestly thought it did, going on for like 14 years, which is a lot longer than I expected. This is definitely an interesting micro build, because on one part, you have a classic style horse. I mean, not a literal classic style horse. I mean, like, when I say classic style, I mean, like, you know, if you collect classic LEGO sets, like, you know how, like, animals are built. Like, it's built like one of those. So, yeah, just a generic classic horse build. But then, we also have the carriage build, which is where the interesting things get in. We have a couple interesting pieces, that being, again, a transparent blue gem piece, and a frog for some reason, which, like, I don't entirely get why they decided to throw a frog in there. Like, seriously, especially, like, looking in there, like, I can't tell if there's, like, a frog in the original LEGO set or not. Like, it's interesting, I don't know. Maybe there is a frog I didn't know about, but aside from that, this actually turned out really good in my opinion. Like, this carriage build alone is just amazing. It really is. So, yeah, overall, another pretty good build in my opinion. And then we go to the year 2001, and essentially it's also one of the biggest motivations for me as to why I wanted this set. We, of course, have Bionicle with Classic Tahu, which actually in the Bionicle community even has become somewhat of a meme, and even inspired a whole series of mocks inspired by this interesting build. And while it's not the greatest representation of Bionicle, it's still way better than nothing in my opinion. And I'll admit, this is not a bad micro build either, honestly. It really isn't. Like, I kind of like its chibi form. In some ways, I also kind of like to think of this as Turaga Tahu, even though I highly doubt the original 6 Toamata can become Turaga. But still, it's a nice way it was built, and yeah, I really like it, honestly. It doesn't have any flaws at all, again, aside from maybe the Mixel eyes, but again, though, it doesn't hurt this one too bad, because you could also view this as like a chibier version of Tahu, and you know what, that's not bad at all. Overall, yeah, this is a really good build in well, I wouldn't say really good, but it's a decent representation of Tahu. And again, I just really like this build as a whole, and I'm just thankful Bionicle got some representation. So, yeah, and again, this micro build alone was just the main reason as to why I wanted to get this set so much. Because again, I'm a huge fan of construction figure themes. So yeah, and seeing that we are getting something that's somewhat resembles a construction figure, At least the arms have Technic in them. Yeah, at least it's good enough for me, I guess. And then we move on to the year 2005 with the Lego City Police Station. And I gotta say this. This is another really fantastic, top-notch, top-tier micro build from this Lego set. Like, I don't even know where to begin with this one, honestly. Like, there's just so much cool stuff going on here. Like, at the back, I guess there's kind of some interior space to, like, put in a couple microfigs, but that's about it, though. But yeah, and I also like how there's like a printed Lego piece right here, as well as a printed tile saying police. That's really nice. And the coolest, well, maybe not the coolest part, but you can also like detach this helicopter build and even like spin it. It's just so cute looking. Overall, this is just an awesome Lego set and certainly a great representation of the original 2005 set. And yeah, I really like it. It's surprisingly good for what it is, honestly. And yeah, like, man, like all the building like base Lego sets in general from this are great. And then we move on to 2010 with Lego Technic. Trust me, Lego Technic was not introduced in the year 2010. As a matter of fact, Lego Technic is technically the longest running Lego theme right now, going around since 1977. But still, I guess this is a relatively iconic Lego set. And yeah, and as for the micro build itself, again, because they decided to go ahead and use more specialized pieces for the Lego builds in this particular Lego set, it means it also includes Lego Technic, which is a really good thing in my opinion, because without Lego Technic, then, well, it's not really Lego Technic. And overall, again, this is another micro build that was represented really well. A majority of the pieces in this one are indeed Technic pieces, which is really good. I mean, there are a few system pieces here and there, but for the most part, yeah, this is a really great, well done micro build overall. And then we get to 2013 with the Lego Ninjago Golden Dragon. And boy, oh my gosh. This is easily the worst build from this Lego set. Like, when I first saw the images of this Lego set, even I thought this was the worst build. But now that I have it in hand, not only is it a little worse than I thought it was, but it is just outright disrespectful to Lego Ninjago fans. Now, I'll say this. I really do not care much for Lego Ninjago at all. But it doesn't mean I disregard Ninjago as an important Lego theme. Because Lego Ninjago is indeed an important Lego theme. As much as I do not like Ninjago, well, okay, I don't hate Ninjago, but it's a Lego theme I don't care for. Either way, yeah, even though I don't have much interest for Lego Ninjago, I'll admit, this build deserved a lot better. It really did. This build is just flat out disrespectful, honestly. First of all, it's just a terrible, ugly-looking build. What is supposedly called the Golden Dragon, there's a lot more green and black than there should be. And, like, the wings are really thin, but yet it also has giant, blocky feet. And its face is just ugly. Seriously, though. And then there's just this area as well, which is just incomplete. And, like, and you can't even recognize this as a dragon. Like, I highly doubt you can recognize this out of context as a dragon. Like, seriously, when I first showed my mom this Lego set, my mom said she liked that duck thing. And no, she was not referring to this, by the way. She was referring to this. Considering my mom literally called it a weird duck thing, yeah, that's when you know you've got something that is unrecognizable. And this really is just straight up unrecognizable. This build is just lazy. And aside from the katana pieces, there's no real interesting pieces from this build overall. It is just easily the worst build the set has to offer. And even the only build in this Lego set that is actually bad in my opinion. Like, seriously though. Like, my gosh. I get it though. Lego Ninjago is still a theme that exists. And you know what? I'm thankful they at least did some quality with Bionicle, one of my favorite themes. And while I don't care much for Ninjago, this is outright disrespectful. I get it. Ninjago's common nowadays. Ninjago's just everywhere. But you know what else is everywhere? Lego City, Lego Technic, Lego Friends, and Lego Dots. All of those themes are everywhere nowadays. So, yeah, with that in mind, yeah, Lego Ninjago deserved a lot better. And remember, this is coming from someone who doesn't give a blobfish about Lego Ninjago. So, yeah, for that reason, this is easily the worst micro build from the set, and there is little to nothing redeeming about it. So, yeah. And now on to the next build, moving on to the year 2018 somehow. We have this Lego Friends set, which I'm guessing is like some kind of fun house. And this one doesn't even have interior to fit microfigs in. At least the last couple Lego buildings we took a look at least both of them had some okay to decent interior. But this one just, like, it's just completely blocked off. And I guess it's an okay representation of the original 2018 set. But overall, yeah, I don't have much to say about it. Of, like, the buildings, this one's easily the worst of them, in my opinion. But it's still not a bad build, so, yeah. But not the greatest either. I mean, at least it captures the look of the original set decently, I guess. And then we have the last micro build from the most recent LEGO theme. Going back a couple years ago to 2020, hard to believe how much time has went by since, we of course have the LEGO Dots Pineapple, which it was honestly a little surprising to see this little fella actually be in this LEGO set. But you know, it's not a bad micro build. It captures the original set really, like, perfectly, probably because of its blocky nature of the original LEGO set. But overall, yeah. Another thing I really like about this set, like, again, it uses some awesome pieces and just captures LEGO Dots perfectly. Not only that, but this set also even uses, like, the LEGO Dots eyes, unlike Mixel's eyes that basically destroyed this build right here. Well, okay, I wouldn't say destroyed this build, but again, it made it from where it's not the best build. Either way, yeah, this is a perfect representation, well, or at least near perfect, because there's also this hollow interior-like thing. But overall, yeah, that's basically the pineapple from LEGO Dots. And yeah, I gotta say, yeah, it's a nice micro build for what it is, honestly. And again, like, it's great for what it is. It captures LEGO Dots really well and looks like a lot like the original LEGO set. And it is just insane to believe how long ago this LEGO set was released. So, yeah, and before I go on to the conclusion, yeah, that's not everything in this LEGO set. That was not 1,100 pieces you just saw. Let me show you the rest of them. Because being a classic LEGO set, it's a brick box LEGO set. Therefore, there are more pieces. More bags of assorted colors. There. That's basically all of them for ya. So, yeah. Because LEGO Classic is indeed a brick box set. So, I'm not entirely sure if this was a recent thing or not, because I haven't been collecting too many classic LEGO sets lately. But at least in this particular one, they've decided to do it to where, like, oh, wait, actually, never mind. There's one I forgot. Whoops. Accidentally knocked down one of my blue base plates. That's a little embarrassing. Let me just, like, put it back in there. Okay, there we go. Not perfect, but it'll do for now. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, with this classic set, at least, like, there are actually numbered bags for, like, all these micro builds. So, yeah, so that's something really interesting to note. Again, I'm not entirely, being someone who hasn't really collected too many LEGO Classic sets since the year of 2018, yeah, I have no idea what LEGO Classic has been doing since. Like, I'm not sure if it's just for other classic sets or just this one, but I do really like how they have, like, extra bags to, like, to at least still have the brick box aspect. But now let's take a look at both instructions booklet. Again, this one being number 1, and again we have like all the page numbers for all those specific builds. And well, you've seen this instructions booklet page. I'm just going to move Classic Tahoe aside for now. But I don't think you've seen it in entirely its full glory yet. Well, maybe you have when trying to go to a specific LEGO set, like zooming into here or something. But yeah. And then as for instructions booklet number 2, again, just page numbers for what builds there are, and just nothing, absolutely nothing at the end. Oh yeah, and also, it also has a classic win advertisement, so, yeah. So, overall, what are my thoughts on this LEGO set? Well, first, I think I need to address the important thing first. And that is, of course, the fact that this is indeed the 90th anniversary of the LEGO company. And being a huge LEGO fan myself, it's insane how far LEGO has come from making wooden toys to construction figures to sets like this, honestly. It really is. But overall, LEGO has changed many of our lives, mine included. And LEGO will no doubt be a toy we all remember forever. And yeah, today's a very special day in my opinion. It really is. And LEGO, chances are, will probably always end up being my number 1 favorite hobby, alongside many other people's. And overall, yeah. And does this LEGO set capture the 90 years of play well? Actually, yeah, it does. As of right now, this is my favorite LEGO set from this year in 2022 that I currently own, honestly. Because, like, it's just such a great LEGO set. As a matter of fact, of all the 90 years of play LEGO sets, this one here is actually the best one in my opinion, honestly. Now, don't get me wrong, there's also the Galaxy Explorer and the Classic Castle and the Forceman Hideout promo. But you know what? Unlike every other 90 years of play LEGO set we've gotten, this LEGO set, unlike all those other sets which just only explore one specific LEGO theme, this LEGO set just celebrates LEGO for what it is in general. Like, it's not just castle or space. It also celebrates pirates, city, classic town, Technic, and even Bionicle. Like, this LEGO set just celebrates some of the most important LEGO themes. And honestly, I wish there were a lot more LEGO sets like this to celebrate the 90 years of play. But overall, as it stands though, yeah, this is still, and for that reason, this set is, in my opinion, the best of the 90 years of play set. And overall, and most of the micro builds turn out really good as well. And this is even what may honestly be the best classic set of all time, giving us some interesting pieces I never would have expected to be in classic sets, whether it be printed or, I guess, uniquely molded or as minifigure accessories. And this LEGO set even gave us the return of Bionicle, more or less, which is one of my favorite LEGO themes of all time. And sadly, while we may never end up seeing the return of Bionicle, at least not anytime soon, this is, I guess, satisfying enough for now. So overall, yeah. So what are my thoughts and opinions on this LEGO set? Honestly, I give this set a 4-star rating. It's a great LEGO set in my opinion, and to celebrate the 90 years of play, this is easily one that I would highly recommend, especially if you're a fan of Bionicle. But if you don't care much for Bionicle, well, it's also a great set if you're a fan of Adventurers, or of LEGO Fabuland, or Belleville, or other classic themes. Well, except for Ninjago, because Ninjago still exists, and also, well, the one build we do get for Ninjago in this set is awful. But overall, yeah, this is easily a great LEGO set in my opinion, and again, my favorite LEGO set from this year as of right now. I can't believe I'd be saying that about a classic LEGO set, but I am. So, yeah. This is LEGO Toby, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.